He didn't say any of that. Who was in the windpipe? Moshe Rabbeinu. This is brought down from the Ramav from Pano. Big Mekubal, Rama Pano writes. So again, this is not anything from mine. This is Rabbi Mansur brings down in that shiur. If you go listen to that shiur, you'll hear all of this, what I'm giving you now. That Moshe Rabbeinu was in the windpipe. It could be also that they were also part of that windpipe because that windpipe is composed of a few different parts. So it could be. The windpipe had an ability to close and shut off from the rest of the Avera. But they didn't stop anybody else.
True.
So that's why Moshe Rabbeinu comes down and says, listen, when I had an opportunity, what does he say? Not yesterday, and not from the first time you spoke to me. When was the first time Hashem spoke to Moshe? This is the first time in the Sefer Shemot. Parashat Shemot. When was the first time? When he was in the windpipe of Adam HaRishon. Hashem says, I had the ability to close the pipe. I closed the pipe. I was shomer myself. Good. But what about everybody else? I didn't touch nobody else. This part wasn't the one I'm telling you now is not part of the shiur. What I'm telling you next. We know that in the generation of the flood, right? We spoke about this before. Noah was supposed to be the generation of the Torah. That was called the Dor De'ah. They had a lot of da'at. They had a lot of knowledge. But they used it for negativity. In fact, that entire generation, if you look in the Arizal, he brings down that the entire generation was reincarnated into the generation of the Migdal Bavel, right?
Really?
Bavel.
Oh, the big tower.
The big towers, right?
No way. I didn't know that.
And they were then reincarnated one more time into the generation of the Torah, the generation of the Egyptians. This is why that they had to build two palaces. What were the two palaces they built? Pitom and Ramses.
No way.
That was Keneged the Migdal Bavel that they had built. Those Migdal Bavel. Why were the children put into the water? Because of the generation of the flood.
No.
Moshe Rabbeinu, he's pulled out of the water. Because he was originally in that generation. He was in the generation of the flood.
Wow.
That generation was supposed to be the generation that was supposed to be receive the Torah, and everything was supposed to go flow. Nice.
Wow.
Who was the leader of that generation? Noah. Noah was in essence the Moshe Rabbeinu of that generation.
By the way, it's coming out
Yeah.
in the next couple of weeks. Noah. It's coming out in the theater.
Russell Crowe's play.
I wouldn't go see. But
Why not?
It's Chol Hashem.
Because this is so much better. This is better than the movie. It's true.
This part you don't get in the movie. Noah, what is the knock on Noah?
He didn't pray for
He didn't pray for anybody.
For himself.
Noah was the exact same thing as the windpipe. He sat in there, closed the door. In fact, the Midrash shows he closed the door to Bet Midrash.
Yeah, remember.
So we're all about the shuvas. He was so special.
We're all reincarnations of reincarnation. Yeah, we are.
He wasn't even Jewish. Everybody believes in Allah. He wasn't Jewish. He became
Well,
Jewish.
here's the thing. Noah, it wasn't just that no one believed in him. When he saw that people weren't into it, he said, "Okay, look, what can I do? I tried. I did my due diligence. I put in my effort, and they're not there." But he didn't pray for them.
Yeah.
In fact, if you want to just, again, we're jumping between the two stories, but they're all related. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he goes up to Har Sinai, and he comes down, and there's a golden calf, and he throws down the luchot, and he says, "Wait a minute, this is why I toiled. I went up. I went all this 40 days, no food, no nothing, going up." Hashem says, "Let me destroy them, and I'll start from you only." Moshe Rabbeinu could have easily said, "Yalla, fine, sababa. You want to start from me? Let's start." That would have been Noah's way. That's what Noah did before. See, Hashem said, "No, I'm going to destroy the world." He said, "Okay, what do you want me to do?" Here he said, "I'm going to destroy the Jews. What do you want me to do?" He didn't say that. He goes and he says, "Macheni na misifrecha." If you're going to destroy the Jews, destroy me too. So we see already we see the similarities. Moshe Rabbeinu, Noach, they're starting to turn the tides. Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid to go down to Mitzrayim. When he saw this snake, he said, I'm not going next to
Oh, we
Mitzrayim.
saw the snake on the line.
Because this is the original snake of Adam Rishon.
That snake's around.
No, this is again the symbol.
Okay.
In fact, Paro is called Hatanin Hagadol, the big snake. Hatanin Hagadol is the big snake. The players are all the same players, just different names. You have Adam Rishon starring Moshe Rabbeinu. You have the Nachash starring Paro. Everybody's back to the square one and say, okay, great. Let's go down to Egypt. And they go down to Egypt and they start. Why does Moshe Rabbeinu agree?
Nachash also like the symbol of Mordechai, Esther, and Achashverosh?
Hush.
And Haman?
Nachash? The snake?
No, like the Nachash was Haman.
I guess you can say
Nachash was Haman. Yeah, Nachash is Haman. Yeah. So, but hold on that thought, and we're going to talk to them about the Nachash in a minute. So, he goes down to Egypt. Why does he agree to go down to Egypt? Because Hashem promises him, you take them out of Egypt, you're going to take out the Torah. Why does Moshe want the Torah so much? Because you ever see that the Torah is called Aseret HaDibrot. It's about speaking. The 10 sayings. But it's not sayings. There's a difference in Hebrew between the word ma'amar and dibur. When Hashem created the world, He created the world with asara ma'amarot, 10 sayings. When He gave the Luchot, the Torah, it was called asara eser dibrot. 10, again, in English we call it sayings, it's not.
10 things.
Well, so a dibur is actually what's called a gilui, a revelation of just your inner feelings. A ma'amar is a general idea. But a dibur, when you're speaking, that's why it's called divrei Torah. It's about to, what they call in English, elucidate, to bring it down, understand it, feel it. That's the idea. That's why they say, when speaking divrei Torah, don't just speak things that are way above. That doesn't do anything to us. You got to bring them down. Bring everything down so that we can relate to it. This is, again, why we're giving the shiur tonight on this topic, because we lean a lot. We're going to be leaning a lot on Pesach. And if we're not going to know what we're doing on the leaning, chaval. That's one spot of the Leil Seder that we missed. The Leil Seder is almost like a checkpoint list. You have so many things, and hopefully within the next 2 weeks we'll be able to go through a lot of the points so we can get them down. Because it's a one-time a year opportunity. And one of the biggest times, 4 times you're going to be doing with the cup. So you better know what the cup is, and you better know what you're leaning about. You're going to be doing with the matzah, you're going to be doing with the maror. So what are you leaning about? They told us it was because of freedom, and they told us it was because of health reasons. Now we're starting to understand maybe a little bit more. So Moshe Rabbeinu goes down to Egypt, and like I said before, he was able to say the words Pakol Pakarati. All of a sudden his speech impediment was gone. All of a sudden he could speak to the Nachash. He was not afraid. He goes down, they come out of Egypt. Excellent. Everything goes, quote unquote, smoothly, and they come out. They end up going and getting the Torah, and that's where they reach the apex, the height of what they were. How does all this relate to us? Pesach is called Pesach. Pe is the mouth, and Sach means to speak. How you spell Sach? Sach is spelled Samech Chet. Samech Chet. Samech is 60, and Chet is 8. 68. Kiminyan is the numerical value of the word Chaim. Chaim. Chaim is life. Chet, Yud, Yud, Mem. Chet is 8. Yud and Yud is 20, and Mem is 40. Right? So 68. What are we saying here? On Pesach, the whole idea of Pesach, the whole idea of Galut Mitzrayim, one of the biggest ideas is that you're supposed to be able to reveal your words, bring them to life. A quick idea on what I'm talking about is that when we're davening, do we know what the words mean? A. And if we know what the words mean, do we feel what the words mean? Take a body and stop the heart from pumping. The body's dead. Without a heart, without feeling, without understanding through the emotion of what you're saying, The words are dead. Pesach is one of the big things of Pesach, and that's why one of the big mitzvot is the higadita levincha lemor. And you're going to tell your sons and your daughters, and you tell them, because you're going to teach them a very important lesson. And this is why Pesach, a lot of, if you hear, like Rabbi Mansur says a lot of the Divrei Torah on Pesach is not like what we just said. This is not Divrei Torah for Pesach, for the Seder night. This is preparation. In the preparation, you can go up high. But Pesach, you're supposed to say things that are very simple, that everybody on the table can understand them. Even the children can understand what you're supposed to be able to say. So certainly we're not going to tell the children what we just said now. But what will we tell the children? Well, we will tell the children that when you're going to daven to Hashem, daven to Hashem. Don't clock in, clock out. When you're going to learn your Torah, learn it with Hashem. Don't just learn a book. Not just reading a book. The whole idea of the mouth is that it's supposed to be able to communicate. What is the mouth communicating? What your mind and your heart are feeling. Your mind and your heart. How do I know that? Let's look. I told you always the letters are speak everything. The word moach, velev, moach, mem, chet, velev, vav, lamed, bet, equals the numerical value of 86. Kiminyan, pe, with the kolel, pe, 85 plus the kolel is 86. Because your moach, velev is supposed to come together in the mouth. If you're taking out words from your mouth and you don't mean them, don't say them. Would you tell somebody, hey, I really had a good time tonight. You went on a date, I really had a good time tonight. And you didn't have a good time with her. You were like, I'm never calling you again. Why would you tell somebody that? Why would you drag someone? That's not proper. We always say that we think before we speak. But when we're davening, all of a sudden that rule doesn't seem to apply. Think before you speak, but when it comes to davening, I just got to speak it. Who said? You got to think before you're davening. You have to sit at home, you have to study the Siddur. You have to study the Tehillim. You're reading the Tehillim. Do you know what you're saying, the Tehillim? And if you know what you're saying, do you understand the connection of yourself? When you go read the Haggadah, did anybody start preparing the Haggadah? You can start preparing. You finished already or what?
I just got to the Red Man Search thing. I've been reading it like every day.
You read it, right? Gotta understand it. But it's not enough to read it. You're gonna have to be able to say it. They're gonna say, Amram, what?
Amram says commentaries like that.
You can't read it. Because I'm serious. That's the line. When you're reading it, it's still superficial.
Last year was good.
When you're reading it, it's superficial.
When did you start eating? 5 minutes?
When you're reading something superficial, if you can't say it over, then that means that you haven't internalized it yet. You haven't internalized it yet. So anybody can pick up a book and start reading the book. There's no chidush in reading a book. The chidush is, did you take home with it something? Because if that Devar Torah relates to Amram's brain will make the Devar Torah part of Amram. That's what it will do. No, I'm serious. Think about it. Did you ever have a speech class, like a public speaking? So if you're going to go up to the public speaking, and this is what it bothers me a lot. I see it sometimes in law. They read the statement. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what are you doing? Well, I came here to listen to you reading a book. What are you gonna? Or something you see the guy reading the speech. You know, and he's looking at the people and he looks down at the words. Says the speech, looks down at the words. I said, if you don't know what you're saying and you don't live what you're saying, what are you saying to me? You're the president and you don't know. You should be living with these words. These should be words that you live. V'chai bahem.
That's what they type whatever you say too.
Why does the Torah say v'chai bahem? What's bahem?